Why are we not in the UK? I think that's a great.
Yes.
For me, there is a lot of changes in the UK government that I do not like. There is a lot of what I would say oppression, where the freedom of speech is now kind of gone away, and you could be arrested for stuff on social media, which, right or wrong, that is now the case we're in. We have high taxes. We have a huge inheritance tax liability coming up in the UK, and we know that from 2024 when Rachel Reeves did the announcement to say pensions were included in IHT. It just feels very anti-business. It feels anti-landlord. And to stay in a country that rains all the time and takes 50, 60% of your money in tax, I'm not quite sure I'm a fan of that. So I'm in sunny Spain where they tax you still just as high, but the cost of living is significantly cheaper, funny enough. And I believe that Spain is a much more entrepreneur's type of paradise because there's greater opportunities here.
I completely agree. And I'm sat as we speak in Dubai. So I moved here just under a year ago. And when we talk about forward-thinking countries, when we talk about countries that are very entrepreneurial, there's no better place because you think about that this place has actually only evolved within the last 30 years.
Mm.
Now, if we think that in the UK that we had to build a new city, how long would it take us? Let's think about HS2. How long has it taken us to get to that? And we still haven't got anywhere near any form of conclusion for that.
Mm.
So these guys have built a whole city, a whole country within 30 years. We'd still be in planning. It's still being planning, let's face it. But yeah, no, I moved here predominantly because more so for the lifestyle. So people said to me, "Have you moved because of taxes and all that kind of stuff?" No, I wanted a better lifestyle. I've worked hard enough, got to a point where, we're in a position where it gives us a sufficient enough income to live in a different country. Now, I'm not going to say that Dubai is cheap. It's not. So probably what we would be saving in taxes, we're actually spending on living. And for me, that's the what I would consider the definition of financial freedom.
Mm. And that's probably something I always think about this morning as I was walking the dog. Nice sunshine and no rain, which is one of the key factors of me moving away from the UK was the horrible weather. Where in Spain we have something like 330 days of sunshine a year, which I think is probably still less than Dubai, isn't it?
Yeah, we have 365 days of sunshine. We have the occasional 2 days of a bit of rain here and there, and they make worldwide headlines. But 365 days of sunshine, and it's good. It's just people are genuinely nice about being in the sun.
But there is a philosophy here, and I wanted to introduce this to the conversation before we talk about property business overall. But the lifestyle that you have now been able to achieve, and arguably what I've been able to achieve, is because we have our property portfolio, which is more passive than being an employee. We have businesses which we have engineered so we can manage that remotely. And I think in this day and age where people are working hard for 50, 100, £150,000 only to be taking 50% of that away from the government, being told what to do by the employers, limited amount of downtime. And when it is downtime, you're inside because the weather's not so good. I think money isn't the most important thing, but as Zig Ziglar said, it's right up there with oxygen. And I do feel that, having money gives you choice. But there's a bigger factor, and I was playing this out this morning, Arsh, and this is testimony to you to say you had choice and you acted upon it. People still have
Yes.
money, still people still have choice, but they don't always act on it. And I'm going to pose that question to you. Why is it that people don't act on choice when they have it?
I've got to say, Simon, I can't answer this question because my wife was the driving force. She was the one. But I mean, I genuinely don't understand it because you're in a position where you can and you have, I suppose, what also comes down to is people actually are scared of change.
Mm.
Now, you've got to remember that I've left the country I've had to ensure that everything is still running, and there's still lots of things that could potentially go wrong, and people worry about what can go wrong, whereas in actual fact, they've got to think about what can actually go right.
Yes.
So, and in this scenario, you've got to think about everything subjectively. But you've got to think about all the things that could go well, and you've got to also think about the things that potentially could go wrong, and you put it on a scale. And if you think that overall it's going to be a much better life and lifestyle, then why wouldn't you? More importantly, as I think you did originally, Simon, you can initially put yourself together a budget and say to yourself, well, let's test it for 2 years. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work. You've put yourself the funds together. So the way that I did this when I come to Dubai, I said, well, what's it going to cost me to go move out to Dubai and live in Dubai for 2 years, where it means that I've not earned another single penny for 2 years. Can I afford to live here for 2 years? And I've tested it. And the answer was yes. And I said, okay, but if I don't earn another single penny, will I still be able to survive? And the answer was yes. So, and then that's what put as my test case.
Mm.
And then based on that, then I'm looking at how my business is operating whilst I'm here. I'm looking at how, the productivity level, the cash flow levels, and how it works. I think the biggest thing that I've found being here is that in the UK, I'm very much a case of if someone told me that I needed to go and do something, I would have gone off and done it. I can't do that 4,000 miles away.
Yeah.
So a tenant calls me and says, "Oh, I'm locked out of my room." Before it would have been, "Oh, if I'm local, I'll just come and quickly come and do it." I
Mm.
can't do that 4,000 miles away. So I'm literally now having to rely on the systems and the procedures that I've put in place to make it work.
So do you think, and that's an interesting point you're making there, because in order for you to be in Dubai, you would have had to put in processes, systems, people to act on your behalf when you're not there. But do you think by moving to Dubai, it's accelerated or enhanced that to say, well, actually, I have to put more reliance on the people that I'm paying to do this for anyway?
100%, 100%, because now you are, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but you're actually at their mercy, aren't you?
Yeah.
Because you can't go off and do it. And if someone, I'll give you an example, for argument's sake, viewings. So we've now got a team of viewing agents that will go and do viewings on vacant properties. So we advertise on all these different platforms, and someone wants to come and view it, we arrange it. So, and the properties vary all over the country. So we've got Blackpool, we've got Liverpool, we've got Manchester, we've got Nottingham, we've got Cornwall, we've got Wolverhampton, we've got Birmingham. I've had to get little viewing agents in all these different locations and like mini caretakers in each of these locations so
Mm.
that should something happen, we've got people on the ground that can go and deal with this.